Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel for Inktober Tangles 2025. My name is Becky and I am from Ivy's Corner. I'm excited to be stepping out and drawing all of the patterns from Inktober Tangles 2025 for you across this month. And so today's pattern is another one that is new to me. This is why I love Inktober so much, because I draw a lot of tangles that I've never used before. And this one is called Ole Ole, and this is by Reyes Galindo CZT. So really nice organic tangle that I actually really enjoyed when in my little practices that I've just done. So I'm going to open up my little sketchbook, find the right page and get going. So now with this one, there's a couple of different ways that you can draw it. I recommend that you check out the step out. I am going to show you just kind of a little organic collection of these shapes together. And you can see how they come together really nicely. We start off with this Ole Ole pattern by drawing a nice big kind of printemps spiral with a long tail. So you can either draw your spiral starting with the spiral and then create the tail, or you can start with the tail and then come round into the spiral. Now I found it easier to create it the second way, so starting with the long tail and then curving your spiral round into itself. So let me show you. I'm going to start with a line and then come round into a spiral and then just add a little dot in the centre like that. And then the next thing to do with this one is to bring a tethered aura out from this top section or in from this bottom section. So I'm going to bring my aura in from here and then attach it down into my spiral like so. The next thing is going to be to add another one on top of this, so underneath your spiral, coming in from this section and then tethering that down to the bottom like so. And again, so you're creating these kind of petal shapes here. And then we're going to come from the bottom and then up and round the top to create a similar kind of tethered aura that's going to land back on the line that we've drawn. So start from the bottom and take off, and then tether to here, and then again a couple of times. So you kind of got this really flowy, organic kind of pattern. And that is the main pattern, that is it. So what I'm now going to do is turn my tile and just do another kind of little collection of them. So I'm going to start with a tail and come around. Now this time I'm going to touch my spiral back down on itself, because I did actually mean to do that before and I forgot. And so we're going to touch that spiral back down on itself here, and then take off from the bottom and tether into the top. And then I'm going to take in from here and do a couple more, come off from the bottom, and then just create these pretty tethered auras that bump in at the top there. Really, really nice. Let's do a few more. So I'm going to come off here, come round, tether my little spiral, touching to this line that we started with. I'm going to come in from the top this time and tether down. Do two more on this side, on the left hand side, and then start from the bottom and create a few on this side. Really pretty. Let's just do a small one here, and obviously your spiral can go in any direction you like, but I'm going to keep things the same just for ease. So I'll come in from here, tether down to the bottom, and then repeat that a couple of times, and then come from the bottom and tether up to the top. And finally, well, maybe not finally, I might do another one in a second. We'll have one more coming out here. And this one's going to end up having to hollybore under its neighbours, I think. So from the spiral and down a couple of times. And then from the bottom and up. And this is where I'm going to have to hollybore. And then that one will go down there. I'm going to do one more that pops out down here, I think. So creating my spiral, come from the spiral, and that's going to hollybore underneath. And this one will also. And then from here, bring it up. Really, really pretty. Look how that comes together in this really nice organic form. Really lovely. And then with the shading of this one, I mean, there's other things you can do actually. With this, we have this kind of larger space here that we've created, and you can fill that with other things. So you could fill it with orbs. Maybe I'll put a couple of orbs in this one here, just to give you an idea. You can add some embellishments in it, whichever way you like. Maybe I'll just add another over here. And within any of these auras, you can add those embellishments. It doesn't have to be in this specific one. It just invites you to play and see what works for your composition, like so. So with my chalk, I'm going to just add a nice, not chalk, my General's layout pencil, excuse me. I'm going to add a nice generous amount of graphite in the centre there. And then probably under here where this spiral starts to come together, anywhere the lines converge is a good spot for adding graphite. So down in the centre here, but also underneath where these spirals start to give out their aura lines. And obviously you can be a lot more generous with the shade than I am here, depending on your composition, depending on what you want your finished piece to look like. The other thing I'm going to do is just add a touch of this graphite here where some of these start to hollybore and disappear behind their neighbours, to add a bit of depth. But this is such a pretty pattern and it is really simple to draw, and I recommend having a go because it's a fun one. So there we have it. I might just also add a couple of bits of graphite to some of these spirals just to give a little bit more dimension, using some residual graphite there on my tortillon. And that is Ole Ole. So we are at day number 12 of Inktober Tangles. This is Ole Ole, and this is by Reyes Galindo, CZT. There you have it. Thank you so much for watching along with today's instruction drawing. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you are enjoying Inktober so far. Don't forget to hit like on this video and click subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on all the usual social media channels. But thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you next time.